the person with love and affection, which makes them feel special, which increases their endorphins and chances of quickly falling in love. Examples are quickly saying I love you, buying gifts, constant compliments, lots of calls and texts, telling you both are soulmates or fated to be together. Examples are quickly saying I love you, buying gifts, constant compliments, lots of calls and texts, telling you both are soulmates or fated to be together, asking for early commitment, not respecting boundaries, needing your energy and attention, being intense, and making you feel the love is not equal. Jason and I equally gave each other a lot of love, affection, and time, and intermingled our lives, so in our case, it was more codependency than love bombing. I included this for information, not necessarily because it pertains to this particular story. When I told Jason about my love for the book The Godfather, he ignored me and talked in depth about the movies instead of the books. People often do this when they get excited about a topic, so I did not think anything of it. However, looking back, this might have been one of the first signs that he was selfish. When his mother, Cassie, told me about how she still missed California after living in Washington for nearly 30 years, When his mother, Cassie, told me about how she still missed California after living in Washington for nearly 30 years, I found it a bit awkward. It is not necessarily a warning sign, but it could be a sign that his mother was unhappy, which could have affected Jason and the way she raised him. This part of the story is only the first few weeks that we met, so there weren't really clear warning signs besides our enmeshment. To me, at this point, everything felt perfect, and I was falling in love. This is why it is so important to recognize and understand the warning signs of abuse as soon as they appear. Thanks so much for listening to Chapter 2, or Episode 2, of Warning Signs. This is still the beginning of the story, so it's still pretty easy listening so far. But the domestic violence will begin occurring eventually. And when there are more difficult chapters, I promise I will have a trigger warning both in the podcast description and before starting. It is not my intention to trigger anybody. My only intention is to teach about domestic violence so that we can learn from it. And especially if we've gone through it, it'll help us heal. And if you haven't gone through it, which great, you can help someone else heal. So please spread the word, tell people, click like, follow, and subscribe. And I'll be back next week with Chapter 3. In the meantime, please take a look at my website. I offer empowered dating workshops to give people kind of overview about healthy relationships versus toxic relationships. Those are online on the third Thursdays of every month in the evening. And I also have counseling groups for healing from domestic violence, groups for men and women, and non-binary people can be in either group. I have groups for lessening symptoms of anxiety, and I'm also about to start a new group for fellow neurodivergent people like myself to hang out and be with other neurodivergent people and talk about all the kind of stuff that we go through. So please go to my website, check out everything I have to offer, including the ebooks and paperback books of warning signs. And that website is in the show notes, but it is www.katemageau.com, which is KATEMAGEAU. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you next week. The music you hear is Skipping Stone by Ian Post. Thanks.